Good evening. My name is Carly Reed, Public Information Officer with Pacific Northwest Team 2. Thank you for joining us tonight for our virtual public meeting for the Cedar Creek Fire. Currently, the acreage is 4,836 acres and 0% containment. This will be the last public meeting hosted by Pacific Northwest Team 2. Pacific Northwest Team 3, led by Incident Commander Randy Johnson, will be taking over Friday, August 19th at 6 a.m. So tomorrow, their team will be here shadowing our team and getting to know the layout of the land and on the ground out there so they can implement the strategic plan that we have been developing during our time here. We have a great lineup of speakers for you this evening. So following the presentations, we will have a question and answer session. So please go ahead and drop any questions you might have into the chat, and our subject matter experts will answer them here in person, or we will respond to them directly into the chat. With that, first up, we will hear from Operations Section Chief, Sonny Caldwell.
Hello, good evening. Sonny Caldwell, Ops, as she stated. I'm going to talk a little bit about our current situation, a little bit about what we've done and what we're going to plan on doing. Received some lightning over the fires you may have heard or seen. We have picked up one IA fire outside of our TFR. We're assisting with the aviation resources. If you look up on the hill, the fire is burning pretty actively right now. So I think that acreage that Carly talked about will show a significant increase tomorrow, probably. Now, to talk about some of the actions we have taken or we are taking, we have a couple groups working out here from the Highway 58 up to the 24 road, up to the 19 road, creating this shaded fuel break that we're calling a priority line. Something of note is up here in the Huckleberry Flats OHV area. It's been closed off for the last 3 days now, or this is the third day. Our intention is to open that back up for the weekend for the recreators to be back in there and then close it back off again next week to finish that work so we can complete that safely without causing, getting anyone any harm. Coming around the fire, we have Division Alpha and Division Delta. They're currently prepping this 2419 road and this 1944 road coming down from the 19 road and up from the 2417 to create a contingency line in case the fire is to get out, go past our lines here and come back this way. This 2417 road is a road that we've been working on since we've been here. It is prepped and in place and ready to be a primary line. Division Golf is unstaffed this time, and coming around to Kilo, we are working the Waldo Lake Road down around to the Lower Fuji Trail. That's prepped. There's a little bit of chipping that's going on there, removing some of that slash we've created. The Lower Fuji Trail will come up to the 5883 here at DP 89, and we have crews in there improving that trail right now to be a primary line to the south. Division November is working the 5883 road system, just improving all that. We have a bunch of machines, masticators, skidders, etc., moving a lot of the fuels out of there so we can have a good primary holding feature to the south as well. I'll bump up here to Tango Whiskey real quick. The 2421 road, that's completely prepped, ready to go to receive fire. And we are currently doing a slow burnout operation down along Cedar Creek to bring it down to the road so we can have a safe anchor point to work from, going both directions. Coming back around, we have another group here. I already spoke to them. It's group 71. They're working from 58 to the 24 road, but they're also improving the railroad right-of-way road that goes kind of parallels the highway and the railroad along the south of the fire, southwest of the fire. So a lot of good work going, a lot of machines, equipment, fallers, a lot of safety measures being taken, but we've accomplished a lot and we're looking to get a lot more done. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Genki Kino, Incident Meteorologist Trainee. So our main weather concerns are going to be during the next 24 hours. We're still looking at hot and dry conditions during that time with isolated thunderstorms developing on Thursday afternoons. So, and beyond that, it looks like we're going to be heading towards somewhat cooler conditions. Temperatures are going to be relatively near normal or just above normal with humidity recoveries much better than what we have seen over the last few days. And beyond that, the long-term weather forecast looks like high pressure is going to build back towards the middle of next week. So we are going to see hot and dry conditions likely return towards the middle of next week. The good thing is the winds are going to be fairly light as that high pressure builds over. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Juan Martinez, Fire Behavior Analyst Trainee. So the fire remained active for the last week or so, and really from the start. The fire has been burning gradually from that initial push earlier in the start of the fire. Today was a pretty significant day because of the hotter conditions that we've had, aligned with the steep terrain that's in the area, and then also the fuels are very dry for this time of year. So that a lot of the activity was in that Black Creek Canyon there, and then it pushed a little bit. The spread went to the east, a little bit towards Waldo Lake there, and then up in the north part of the fire there continues to burn. And that's what is expected. Tomorrow we will see another day of increased activity potential, especially with the thunderstorms around the area, and they could be impactful, increased winds, which promotes fire growth. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Gwen DeJoya. I'm dressed a little bit differently than everyone else in this room, if it wasn't too obvious. I come from Oakridge Air, which is a local group here that talks about air quality, and maybe you recognize me from the Home Heating Upgrades program or the Air Purifier program, but we really just want to push our website, oakridgeair.org, and also our phone number, which if you text Oakridge Air to that phone number, which I'll say, and I think they're going to put out in the comments, the number's 541-543-2019, and again, 541-543-2019, and texting Oakridge Air, all one word, to that will sign you up for our text alerts, and those can be really helpful because everybody here is doing a great job. But not everybody is always in the community. Everyone's running around. They're up at Waldo Lake. And this morning, the smoke, I watched it trying to go for a run. It just went down into this valley. And having somebody on the ground who can communicate, hey, we need to tell people maybe they need to close their windows like as soon as they can, or maybe they can turn on their air purifier. That's what the use of those text messages are for. So we really just wanted to iterate that out to people, and we on our website, we tried to, and it's linked to our Facebook, I should say, we try to share out what the team is doing, and we also try to share out what the Air Resource Advisor says about the fire. The Air Resource Advisor has been on the other fire so far, but they've been doing the smoke report, which has been really great. And I think on behalf of all the community, I just want to say thank you all. I know you're transitioning out right now, but I appreciate you guys being here and trying to keep us safe and doing the best you can. So that's all I have. And here's Molly.
Thanks, Gwen. Good evening, everybody. Molly Julera. I'm the Middle Fork District Ranger and the agency administrator trainee for this incident. I want to start off by also thanking Pacific Northwest Team 2 for all of your hard work on the ground, out on the fire. There's been a lot done out there, and a lot of good work done in here to help set us up for the rest of this incident. I also really appreciate the community support that you've all given, and your understanding and your welcoming to these folks that are coming in and helping out our community. As Gwen said, the Air Resource Advisor has been focused down on the Wendigo and Potter fires. We will have our own Air Resource Advisor showing up here to this incident in the next few days, and hopefully helping give some more up-to-date information on smoke reports for Oakridge, Bend, Eugene related to this fire. I hope you all have a good evening, and look forward to your questions.
Good evening. Russ Lane, Incident Commander with Pacific Northwest Team 2. As has been mentioned, we're nearing the end of our 2-week assignment here on the Cedar Creek Fire. Coming in, the Willamette National Forest gave us 2 fairly challenging tasks. And one was to fight a fire that is in really difficult terrain and has a lot of complexities to it. And the other one was to build a durable long-term strategy for weeks to months of the fire being out there on the landscape. And so now we're at that point where we're going to hand off that strategy as we transition out. Our counterparts from Pacific Northwest Team 3 will come in, pick up that strategy. And with some fire activity out there tonight, it feels like there's a little bit of unfinished business, but really confident that our partners there with Team 3 will do great work and really carry forward the strategy that we've built here. Finally, before we leave, really want to thank the community of Oakridge for all the great support we have received in the welcoming here to Eastern Lane County. And of course, our hosts, the Willamette National Forest. They set us up for success. They've been here in partnership every day, guiding us, contributing to the development of the strategies, and that's just been an outstanding partnership. With that, thank you, and I'll pass it back to Carly.
Thank you, Russ. As you've heard this evening, there's a lot of really great work going out there, and Pacific Northwest Team 3, the incoming team, they will continue that great work that's going on out there. They will also be holding virtual and in-person public meetings, so stay tuned for those dates and details to come. Just as a reminder to Oakridge and West Fir residents, we do have 8 information boards out throughout the community that we are updating daily with information and maps. So please visit those when you get an opportunity. Of course, we have our IncyWeb and Facebook pages, plus a YouTube channel for the Cedar Creek Fire, where we're posting videos and photos of firefighters and all the fire suppression activities that are going on out there. So if you get an opportunity, please check that out. And as you heard, Huckleberry Flats OHV area is going to be open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So please go out there and enjoy, but just remember it will be closed for midweek so the crews can finish up that work out there. But enjoy the weekend if you're heading that way. Lastly, I do have a question in the chat regarding Gander Lake and the lines to the north and south, and also if they expect the fire to go that far north. So we're going to have Sonny answer that one.
Okay, to address that specific area, I want to back out just a little bit at first. Our priorities were to protect Oakridge, Highway 58, the railroad, and then around the campgrounds at Waldo Lake. So with the time constraints and the resources we had, we focused our efforts in that primarily. What we have done is evaluated a few different areas up here that you'll see, one above Gander Lake, one below Gander Lake, and then there's actually another one that we've evaluated through here that we haven't had the time or the resources to take. Hold on real quick. Sorry about that. That we haven't had the time or the resources quite yet to address. So for the next team coming in, we'll take a look at what we've already looked at and identified. And they'll probably decide the best course of action moving forward. Our models don't currently show the fire getting to Gander, or show it very unlikely, I should say, to get to Gander Lake in the next 7 to 14 days. So they should have time if it's decided to take action, I guess, south of Gander Lake. But again, that's still undecided at this time. It's kind of depends on where the fire goes, what strategy they choose, and what priorities lay out there. So I hope I answered that well enough for you.
Great, thank you, Sonny. Well, it doesn't sound like we have any more questions in the chat. We're just double checking real quick, but I'm seeing a no on that. So, I do have one question in the audience. Yes.
Could you speak a bit more to the Bobby Lake fire, the new one? Is that fire under control? We had calls that came into City Hall because they saw more smoke coming through and they were worried about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so the Bobby Lake fire over here on the Deschutes, this is actually my old district where I work, so I'm pretty familiar with this. It is under control. It's just under 10 acres. They were able to get around it the first night with a little bit of help from us, as well as a lot of resources from Central Oregon.
Thank you for answering that. Last minute, not looking like there's anything else in the chat. So lastly, we just want to extend a huge thank you to Oakridge, Westford, and the surrounding communities for welcoming our team and hosting us here. I know it can be very disruptive to have a huge influx of people and firefighters and heavy equipment out and about. So just thank you very much for everything, for your kindness and your support on this fire. We're happy to be here and serve you, and we know Pacific Northwest Team 3 will continue that, and they will do great as well. So with that, have a great evening.